Three, two,
Okay.
one, go.
Oh,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ground Zero podcast.
Wait.
There's a proper.
Moment.
Chris also started with the introduction.
I will take. This is my fault. I take full responsibility. When I started recording, it said storage full. So let me just delete some files. Give me a second.
What is the time now?
I thought I was supposed to clap off.
Okay, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ground Zero podcast. This is the official podcast of Lobby Zero, the Ground Zero for gaming. Here we talk about all things from the latest releases to the biggest moves in the gaming industry. Last week, we were talking about the three big reveals that we had. Today, like I mentioned last week, we're going to introduce the company, what Lobby Zero is, and what we've been doing, what we want to do, and the people behind making it happen. So you're going to see a lot of people on the screen right now. We're going to get into the introductions later. My name is Isaac. I'm one of your co-hosts, co-founder of Lobby Zero. And my other two co-hosts are, for this episode, Vibhav, that you guys are familiar with from last stream. And the main man, Nithin, is now finally on the project with us. Nithin, can you say something? I just want to test the audio real quick.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Okay, cool. We're good. Okay, so yeah, I decided it's a better solution to have Vibhav and Nithin direct this conversation because I feel a little weird asking myself questions and then answering them. So this is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna throw it to Nithin and Vibhav to kind of take us through the course of this whole conversation. Let's get it.
Awesome. So yeah, welcome guys to Ground Zero podcast, second episode. And
yes,
episode
I'd like
one.
to start.
The first one though.
It's technically
This is episode one,
right?
Yeah. Episode number one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So episode one, correction guys. So I'd like to start with, again, going back to Isaac and Namil. I'd like to start with the origin story of LZ. You know?
Yeah.
So give us a blast from the past. Where did it start? How did this communion come
I'm just gonna let Namil. Yeah, I'm just gonna let Namil say his piece first, and then I'll add if anything's missing because I've done a lot of talking over the past episodes.
Sounds good. Yep.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think if we can kind of like trace back to where it started, it would be in the middle of the pandemic. So Isaac and I, we've co-founded a couple of businesses, and during the pandemic, like all other businesses, we had to innovate. And coincidentally, we actually kind of paused because we wanted to focus on our own career paths. Like 2 months before COVID hit, and it was a very fortunate coincidence, let's say. And then the thing is, like, it was kind of contradictory to what we were planning on doing, which was focusing on our careers, taking a step back from our side hustles. And what's funny was when this happened, like I was just looking at the market, I was looking at the economy, and the economy came to a standstill because everybody was at home, right? So there was no real economic activity outside. And I remember thinking to myself, even then, like if you looked at the stock market, it was still moving. So then I realized like there was something driving it. It was based on motions. And then I started looking at which industries were doing well. And I remember giving Isaac a call. And the thing is, Isaac and I, we don't really have boundaries because we've gone through so much shit together. We would just call each other at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., like, yo, listen. And we'd be like, yeah, tell me, what now? What now? Sort of thing. And then I gave him a call one night and I was like, listen, there's an opportunity here. I don't know what it is. We need to look into the industries that are doing well. So if there are industries that are doing well when everything has come to a halt, there is definitely an opportunity there, you know? And a lot of people were getting more conservative, saying this is not the time to take a risk. We have to go, safer and everything. And I was just like, this is the opportunity. Like if you look at every crash, it is followed by the biggest boom right after. And I told Isaac this. I was like, listen, I think we should do something. I think we should start something. Obviously, like we had our own limitations in terms of investing and everything. But I just floated the idea of starting something new. And then I think it took a couple of days. But Isaac just gave me a call back. He's like, yo, I was like, what now? he's like, I got it. And you know that little hype that you do, right? Like
Right.
when you think you've done something, ingenious. He's like, I got it. I got it. And I was like, what is it? And then he's like, one word. And I was like, what is it? Gaming, right? And the thing is, it was actually coincidentally during the time where, since we were all stuck at home, like the only thing that really kept us together was gaming as well, right? So it was Isaac, Kristlin, and Hisham and myself. That we had like a little group that would game every day. So Isaac was working full time. I was working full time. Kristlin was going for the army thing in Singapore, and Hisham is studying to becoming a doctor. And this was the only thing that tied us together. Every day we would get together and we would game at night, right? And it kept us sane to an extent because we all had, like, it was something new. Everybody was going through the lockdown. That's something that's never happened, and it was something that we would naturally look forward to on a daily basis. And when he said gaming, like, I had so much more context this time because I was a very casual gamer. But after like coming into this group, we were like looking at all the possible multiplayer games that we could play on console. We were playing like Fall Guys to like Division 2 to Warzone to whatever we could play. Like, and this game called For Honor, and it was the best time. Like, it was genuinely like the best time. And when he said that, I was like, okay, I'm listening. And then he's like, listen to me. And then I was like, I'm listening. And then he was like, when it comes to gaming, right? The thing about gaming is that in terms of starting off small, it was so doable, right? Like in terms of just generating content, it was so easy. We just had to basically like we had a very structured plan, I think, and that's kind of what helped us allowed us to do what we had done in the first iteration of Lobby Zero, which was a content-based business, right? So all we had to do was define the content buckets, and then we did that. And initially, like I said, like we had to create a system that we could kind of take advantage of, and it should be low maintenance as well, because we didn't exactly have the resources to generate a high volume of content with like this, for instance, let's say, right? So and then also we kind of basically leveraged what we had created in terms of infrastructure with the Hoodie Inc. or T Inc. And we kind of leveraged the employees that we had there. We basically added like a smaller incentive for them to do some more work for Lobby Zero and created something of our own. And then Kristlin joined in, and Kristlin is like a huge gamer. And then he started bringing his own content into the picture. And then we were able to push out a little bit more. And then Morgan came in. So it started off small, but then I think just in terms of seeing the potential and seeing the upside during the pandemic really allowed us to kind of create something that could be anything, which is what we've kind of landed on now. So I think that's starting point, and the hardest thing to do is that spark, to embark on that journey, to do something. Like, you can always talk about ideas, and that's something that Isaac and I know a lot about, because when we were in school, like, I can't even tell you the number of times we've come up with an idea, named that idea, created a logo, dropped it. Like, create a logo, and that was it. You know what I mean? So creating something and actually following through and executing it is a completely different game altogether. And I think it went relatively well. We were able to maintain a certain level of engagement in terms of experimenting and in terms of pushing out content. But it was obviously nothing like what we're doing now. Really, it was very, very low key. And we just wanted to just get started, pretty much. And that's what we did last year. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, I think.
So when
That's a good way. No. I was just going to say that's a good way of defining the first phase of the business, because now I would look at it as the first and the second phase, and us being in the second phase now. Like, the first version, first iteration, first phase was a time when we were like, so he called me and I said gaming primarily because of two things. Because one was something that we didn't talk about, which is attention. Like, it was gaming. Gaming was something that came into the picture as a combination of two things. One was the fact that we had all been reintroduced to this passion of gaming that we had because we weren't allowed to go outside, but we were able to go to all these crazy places with our best friends and go do crazy shit. That was one angle. I was reintroduced to the passion, and I was like, I was having a great time playing, and I realized the value of being able to escape using a medium like gaming when there was something like a lockdown happening. And on the other hand, when he brought up the whole business angle, the question was really, okay, cool, what is that? So he was talking about the opportunity, right? Where's the opportunity that we double down on and execute on? And that's where the attention game came in. And so attention has to translate into content, because that's where attention is. And for me, when I thought about, okay, what kind of content can we produce that would be the most natural thing to who we are right now and what we do, like gaming was it. And gaming was also a space in which content creation isn't that hard, right? There's a lot of gray areas where you can execute, you can make stuff. So that was like the combination. And so that's how the content-based business version of Lobby Zero was born. And that, yeah, like Namil said, we were able to bring in a couple of people from the other two businesses, or rather Hoodie Inc., and get them to work on, certain aspects of Lobby Zero. And we were able to scale it a little bit, which is when we were able to solve the content problem that we had with our other business. Like me personally, I always faced a content issue with Hoodie Inc. And I was like, man, there was some sort of wall that I wasn't able to break when it came to content. Like we weren't able to push out as frequently or as easily or create social conversation. But so for me, a big thing was, if I'm going to do this, I need to be able to push out, like every day, I need to be able to push out one piece of content, even if it has to be me making it, sitting on Canva and just making something. So that was the logic behind it. And this was a platform and format in which that allowed it to happen. And then we were able to bring someone on board. We scaled it up a little bit. And then we cooled down for a bit, for a few months. And so that was the first iteration of Lobby Zero. The name Lobby Zero, I'm having trouble remembering how exactly. I remember a lot of conversations that we had about it. Yeah, go on.
From what I remember.
Before we,
I think Nitin's going to say something.
Before you guys get to the name, I have a question.
Yeah.
Throughout this journey you took us through, beautiful journey, you guys, by the way. You did mention content, the keyword content, right? And if you could explain that thing to the audience about how does this, so gaming is a big universe, must say. And when you're extracting content from it in context to Lobby Zero, what you guys are doing, how would you maybe explain that?
I just want to say one sentence.
Like, what does content mean? As basic as that.
Yeah, I think I just want to say one sentence before Isaac gets into it, which is, I think one thing that we wanted to focus on was, like I said, so he's going to get into the content, what it means and everything, but we were trying to think about what our product would be if we were just a page pushing our content, right? Essentially what would we achieve, right? And it was just one word. It was attention, right? Because since everybody was in the lockdown, when I was looking at industries and everything, a lot of people basically switched from mainline advertising to social media. And everybody was on social media, right? And everybody was on their phone or on their laptops or gaming or whatever. And we realized that was the perfect time to kind of enter that market and actually capture that market as well. And like I said, it was very small, and we were both holding down jobs as well. So we had to create something low maintenance, but something that we can eventually achieve, which was the attention of the gamer. So I think attention equals content is what we were going for.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to expound too much on it because I don't think there's too much to expound, at least at this level. But for me, content in the context of the bigger world of gaming is essentially, obviously there's different types of content, whether it's competitive gaming or whether it's content that is just appreciating the art within the worlds of gaming, or just straight up meme culture, which is so rampant in gaming. So there's so many buckets, and the way in which we approach our content buckets is probably a good representation of how we looked at content, because instantly we were able to look at gaming and then split it into different types of content. And yeah, exactly. So
I think
it's
that's
definitely
I think that's the beauty of Lobby Zero, wherein we have few of us just learning Apex at the same time we are streaming COD professional tournaments. We are covering a major landscape that way.
Yeah. For people
it's a good diverse thing.
For people who are listening to the podcast, we are plugging in, we have this series called Gaming Nights with different creators. So go check out our YouTube.
Tiny Easter egg.
Where and how and why LZ, Lobby Zero? The name.
Yeah. So
I think we'll wait for Namil.
Yeah, Namil's here.
Yeah, I think it's back. Yeah.
All right, Namil's back.
I feel like I feel like so initially when we were thinking of a name, by the way, our history with coming up with a name for businesses has been very colorful. I've
successful in that regard.
Extremely
successful. Could you give some examples?
I mean, more Namil, because I know he spent more time thinking about names of businesses. We had a good, but then if we go into that, it's a long list. So I feel like we're gonna go on a tangent.
But
for Lobby Zero,
episode for that.
Yeah. We were just shooting the shit for Lobby Zero, and eventually I think we had a good range of words, and so I don't even know where I got zero from, honestly. So essentially it's Lobby and then Ground Zero.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of we kind of narrowed down into contextual words in the gaming universe, and then we were just trying different combinations. And I remember coming up with Lobby, because Lobby is the place where gamers come together. And I also had an experience in uni where that's a whole different story there. But basically, I don't know if you guys know this game called Mini Militia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this mobile game, and it's so dumb, but it's so much fun. And in uni, we would always play that game, and basically everybody would be like, "Did you join the lobby? Did you join the lobby?" That was the saying. And I remember it was that place where all the gamers, if you just scroll down, you can see all the gamers, and everybody would be there. You can chat, and there's a lot of banter going on. And I remember
Could
having
we
the power
speak
to kind
on
of
it?
mobilize gamers. And
It was just texting, right? We couldn't speak on.
You couldn't speak on it.
Okay.
No. So, but then we actually used this idea for one of my projects, and basically we ended up getting full marks for it. It was a scam, firstly, that whole project. That's why it's a special story. But I remember carrying that with me. When I pitched it to my marketing teacher, the ad that we had created for that was basically this random dude walking into this room, and there are 4 people just standing there, and we just put some cool music on it, and right after that it's just outro to just a list of names. And then the marketing teacher was like, "I give you 4 months for what? For this?" And then she was livid. And then I come in and I'm trying to pitch the whole idea of a lobby of, only we were trying to do targeted marketing where only the gamers will understand this, because we were going for, the target audience was the gamers, so they will understand this, and they showed up for the tournament and we made money, blah, blah, blah. And then I remember that being a very strong word. And I remember that being this, and then suddenly the marketing teacher went from being livid to, targeted marketing. Oh, I see what you did there. And then I remember thinking, okay, so this is something that it's a good story to tell. And I remember being it has to be sound friendly as well, right? That's something that we are conscious of. And I remember saying lobby, and then Isaac always in terms of explaining what the idea was supposed to be when we were trying to do all the different buckets of content, he kept saying it has to be the base where all gamers can come, and something like that. And in just general terms, we would say Ground Zero.
I think Ground Zero was derived from the mentality of we need to be that one-stop shop for all one-stop shop for all demographics in this country, because it's such a diverse population in terms of gaming spaces as well, and we couldn't discount any one kind of genre, even though we had phases of focusing on one type. But I think now we've kind of evolved into adopting all different kinds of gamers, because at the end of the day, I don't think it's strictly cutting off. There are people here who play mobile games and also PC games, and all kinds of cross pollination happens. So yeah, we just want to be one stop shop, and that translated into Ground Zero. So Ground Zero, and that's still in the tagline, Ground Zero for gaming. So lobby plus the zero from Ground Zero, so lobby zero, Ground Zero for gaming. That was the origin of the name and the tagline. Yeah,
it's a pretty cool name.
It was so easy. The
I
name part
like
is
it.
so easy. Like we always get the name part so easy. And then like it's right after that.
Yeah.
It's right like that's a huge block, So
Even the logos.
You had the name with you guys, just needed the
Yeah.
content.
So
Yeah.
actually a
Always
fun
there.
fact is that basically what we did was so we kind of figured out so we were applying for the trademark and the logo mark for Hoodie Inc. at that particular point in time because we had raised some investment for that. And at that particular point, I remember asking Isaac, listen, in terms of doing the work twice, we would have to reiterate again for Lobby Zero. We were like, do you want to do this? Do you want to apply for it just in case? And we ended up applying for it, and we actually just got the old logo mark approved I think a couple of weeks ago. And now it actually makes it so much easier for us to kind of transition that into the new logo that Rahul has come up with, which is probably 8,000 times better, but still
I love it.
Another thing.
That shit is fire.
Basically,
The acceptance of that was so quick. The second, I remember Morgan, Anderson, Chrislin, they all saw it. They were like, yeah, this is it. Let's go with this. I was just like, damn, bro. That was a little too quick.
So good. Yeah.
I think for those of you who might not know what Hoodie Inc. is, could you guys...
But we have to keep it really short.
Yeah.
We have to keep it really short. It should be a capsule. So I'll take that. So basically, Hoodie Inc. was basically our yeah. But Hoodie Inc. was basically Namil's and my business venture that was born out of the desire to actually execute on some business, literally. It was where we had so many things, so many ideas. We come up, like Namil said, came up with logos, business plans, dropped it. And then eventually we just landed at this conclusion that, listen, let's try to sell something, right? And learn, let's learn how to do business. And hoodies was something that, we were to an extent really passionate about. So I was wearing hoodies all uni, even if it was hot, I was wearing hoodies and sweating inside them. But basically, hoodies was a thing that we were really into, and we were like, you know what, let's try to sell this. And it was a great experience. We spent about 2 years really executing on it, and just learning so many things when it came to business. And a lot of those, all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, the importance of having a partner in business, all the unexpected problems. Now there was a phase, I think, towards the end of the business where we would call each other, and our hellos were so dismal because we thought it was something bad. He'll call me, and I'll be like, "Hello, what's up?" That's it. I'm like, what now?
I would dread Isaac's calls. At one point, I would dread Isaac's calls. He was my best friend, and I would see him call. I'm like, oh, this.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah.
This was when? Hoodie Inc. was when?
Hoodie Inc. was
second year of uni for me. Final year of 2018.
2018. 2018.
Another thing that I think is important to bring up is basically when Isaac and I wanted to do this, like I said, we were students, we had no money, so we just had the desire to do business, and you have to cut so many corners when you're trying to do that with that mentality. And the first person and the most important person for that business, for me at least personally, apart from Isaac, is Chris. And Chris was the first person that we approached.
Yeah.
And he was the first person that actually decided to work with two noobs in business that knew nothing. We were like, bro, we have an idea. We want to sell
We're gonna have the
this.
screenshot.
Will you make the signs for us?
This must have been thinking oh, I'll also become millionaire one day.
No, I literally got a Snapchat message from Namil saying Chris, we're sort of looking for designers, and I'm there fixing my designing portfolio. I'm like,
Sure.
it's me.
But the best part is in terms of, so that's the thing, right? When you're starting off and stuff, it really just can't be about money. Like, you have to have the desire to learn, and there is a learning curve associated with anything new, right? So like, Chris was just so on board to do something, like, and that attitude really helped us, because we didn't have, so in terms of how the business grew, I think that's another important thing. Like, even though there were a lot of problems, as long as you really like roll with the punches, I think if we look back at it, that chapter I feel like was genuinely successful, because we didn't have any investment to begin with. So it was literally based on, we would get an order, right? There would be the cost that covers the production costs and all of those things. And then basically from the profit is what we basically reinvested into the business for anything else, in terms of like, social media, in terms of creating content, in terms of paying designers. Everything was coming from that reinvested profit. In terms of hiring employees, paying interns, whatever, it came from that. And that mentality, like understanding the restrictions that were on that business, and just adapting and improving while having that restraint in mind, was so key for us to just develop and think outside the box, and understanding there's no right answer, there's no right formula. It's something that you, every time, like, it's crazy. I remember at the end of it, like the evolution of the mistakes, right? Like, you think, oh, this is a mistake, I won't repeat this mistake. And then the next order, like, you send, like, so it was a make to order sort of thing. So the supplier would ship to the customer directly. The supplier would say he has shipped 30 hoodies to the customer. The customer would receive 26 hoodies. 4 hoodies went when? Like, nobody.
The supplier.
To this day,
It's like a whole math problem.
Literally, like, it's crazy. And another time, you ship the hoodies, rats eat some of the hoodies.
Rats.
How do you know the rats?
What?
By the way, I am a customer
We have
of
faced
hoodie
it all.
in the past. My college has
yes.
got
Oh yeah.
hoodies from you guys.
Yes.
DJ Academy. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
your that order single-handedly was the funniest order.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
super
oh
stupid.
yeah.
Like,
That's
give some
another
context.
story.
Let's not go into those details now, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah, an interesting thing
a lot
is-
of that experience,
No, but so I think one thing that I want to conclude with is, because so at the end of the day, we were so focused on making sure the customer wasn't dissatisfied. Like, I think even with your order or whatever order, at the end of it, we would make sure that they didn't either lose their money. So whatever happens, even if they had to take a loss, we would refund the whole amount.
Yeah.
Okay, if we didn't mess up the hoodie, if there was an error, or we would really genuinely try our best to replace that hoodie, because we were so aware of the fact that, like, what is the customer walking away with at the end of it? Are they walking away with a bad experience along with no money? Like, bad experience and no money is like the worst, right? So at least if we can apologize and if we can tell them genuinely, and we were, I think from the beginning, from day one, it was all about transparency as well. And we were just like completely transparent. And I think these lessons that we learned from Hoodie Inc. has genuinely helped us in terms of Lobby Zero. Just like in terms of what to think, what to keep in mind.
In
The story in
addition
itself is
to
a
the
content
lessons,
that
Go on.
experience does translate, right?
in addition to all the lessons, the direct connect for Hoodie Inc. to Lobby Zero is that Hoodie Inc. allowed T Inc. to happen. And T Inc., the infrastructure that we have to learn to make T Inc. happen, and all the stuff that we learn from Hoodie Inc. is what allows for the apparel vertical of Lobby Zero at this moment. And so I think this does segue into a very brief introduction to what Lobby Zero is, which is Lobby Zero is a gaming organization that's built on 3 pillars: content, esports, and apparel. And whatever we talked about just now with Hoodie Inc. and T Inc., that is what set the ground for us to be able to execute on the apparel vertical for Lobby Zero right now, which hopefully everyone's going to see soon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sure.
Discount code below.
I'm sure of it.
Is that how it works? I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we doing that? Are we putting a discount code?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Why
We're
not?
going to put discount codes everywhere.
For the guys listening to
We're
this
going to be
podcast,
Oprah.
We're put
One for you.
for the
one
guys
you,
listening
one
to
for
this
you.
podcast, we have a
Everyone's getting a
discount
discount code. You get a discount code. You get a discount.
Use discount code Ground Zero on the Hoodie Inc. on the not Hoodie
T
Inc.
Inc.
T Inc. on the Lobby Zero
T Inc.
collection
T
for
Inc.
how many % discount, Namir?
Can we discuss
100%.
No, it's
Definitely 20%.
Smoothly segueing.
Go ahead.
Just for the people listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Perfect. Just
in the previous story, the Chris that was mentioned is Chris Anderson. If you could give a small wave, so that we LZ we
hi.
have two Chris's.
That's it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The second Chris.
And so yeah, going back to the gaming part of our conversation, right? So
Yeah.
LZ is like testament to all the gamers out there in our country. It's a big question. If I am a gamer, can I make a career out of it, right? So what would
Right.
you both have to, do you guys have something to share on that? Maybe.
I feel like that's something. I feel like that's something that each one of us would be able to say through our introductions and experiences, because the background of each one will kind of feed into that answer. That I think it'll be a collective answer that is threaded through each person's introduction and kind of integration into the conversation. So I think
Awesome.
we should definitely revisit that at the end.
Smoothly segued into individual introductions. Let's
Yeah,
start
yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
For
I'll
sure.
give it
For
to my
sure.
co-host Vibhav to take up.
Go for it.
Sorry.
Yeah, wait, wait.
Hey guys, I'm an intern at Lobby Zero right now. I just joined because I was thoroughly fascinated by how diverse Lobby Zero's parallels were working at. There was content on esports, there was content on just general gaming, and there were people that were equally passionate about gaming as much as I am. So that was something that I found really cool. So I started as a content developer and social media intern. But slowly and steadily, I started to get into the groove of it, and I help writing scripts mostly. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the part that I play here, and co-host the podcast. So moving on from me, Nitin, would you like to talk a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So long story short, I'm a practicing UX researcher, and one of the projects which I was doing, I got in touch with Isaac through a friend of mine in college, and we got speaking. So ideally, in a research process, you get to talk with such experts in the industry, and
Experts.
I think Isaac, the conversation turned out to be a bit, it was really good. So he gave me an invite into this fruitful communion that's happening right now. So yeah, here I am. Looking forward to the future in podcast that's coming.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back to you, Vibhav.
Just a little bit on that, because I don't think Nitin has done justice to his integration into the team. For me, essentially, that conversation was, I think, what was it? A little more than 2 hours. I think we exceeded 2 hours on that conversation.
Yeah,
And
it was
Nitin. Yeah, it was a long conversation. And Nitin was coming at it from a very, it was a different angle to what I was familiar with. I was questioning the whole way. Like, am I the right person to talk to? Like, I don't know if I can be considered an expert. I've been in this game for like 2 months. But interestingly enough, that's what kind of intrigued me the most, because this guy was asking me questions that made me answer things that I didn't know like I could answer. And then all of a sudden I was like, at the end of the 2 hours, it didn't feel like 2 hours, almost 3 hours if I'm not wrong. And I look back and I was like, the reason it didn't feel like that, or the reason it went so well, and the reason I was able to say the things that I was able to say, was because he has this ability to direct conversation. And obviously the nature of that was different from a podcast, but I think a profile like his, who's a very curious person, to be able to ask questions from a very inquisitive background is something very valuable. So Nitin is now on board to help with our podcast content property. And I think, touch wood, everything goes well going forward.
Yeah. So, still iterating and seeing if the fit is right, but definitely the podcast goes.
For sure.
Hopefully in the coming
Back to
episodes
you,
we'll have
Vibhav.
like better video quality. We won't have Discord.
Yeah.
We'll get sponsors like Logitech for like webcams and stuff.
Absolutely.
Bruh, straight up
Absolutely.
Sony DSLR, man.
Sony DSLR.
Okay, moving on from that. So I wanna move on to Morgan. So you've been an investor and a business development. So you've helped in business development, as far as I know. Would you like to expand a bit about your role in Lobby Zero and how you got in?
Sure. Yeah, so I think with Chris Lin and Namil and all that, right? We came in as like gamers itself. So I know Isaac through uni. So we started playing few games, and as we go on, we had a conversation about Lobby Zero. So he was asking me about certain stuff on what we can do, and I think the interest got me into Lobby Zero as about what he was doing for gaming and where he was going with the direction. Then I think that's what put me in being a gamer. I think generally any gamer would want to belong to a community of other gamers as well. So I think this was like a very good place to build in a way your friends and also work towards something that you're actually going to be proud of. Yeah. So I think that's where like Lobby Zero was the ground zero for something to step on and like move into a bigger future for gaming. So even for myself, I always saw like there's a future in gaming, but I think I never could find a way of getting my foot in, and this was something that was just out there and ready for me to get on. Yeah. So that's how it got into Lobby Zero, and what I wouldn't say what I did for Lobby Zero, but I think where I come in would be like helping to kind of understand how we can grow Lobby Zero, and from there looking at the different contents as well as like what we can build them on and how we're going to touch other gamers in terms of the outreach. Yeah. So that's on the part of my end for Lobby Zero. Yeah,
Awesome.
maybe Isaac can share a bit, or next will be Chris Lin, right?
Yeah, next is, I
Do
believe,
you game,
Anderson.
Morgan?
Yeah.
Morgan.
Sure.
Still on Morgan.
I just like
We're still talking about Morgan. Yeah.
Morgan, you're done with your
Okay,
work.
Yeah, any questions? What's the questions up?
No, I'd just like to say, how you were talking about community and how community is so essential to gaming in general in itself. I don't think I'd be as much into gaming if it weren't for a group of friends constantly trying to outrank each other in multiplayer lobbies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Talking about community, one of our important person handling social medias and all the communities in general is Krislin.
Mhm.
Krislin's got down.
I-
It's like me.
I think Vibhav get stuck. I feel like Vibhav got stuck for a second.
No,
Yeah.
I
Wait, what?
had some internet issues. But yeah, I was getting down to you
Mm.
because
Right.
so my first interaction with anyone besides Isaac was Krislin, and that is because of me getting into social media, and I
Yeah.
had no idea of how social media even works because I had never done any posts on Instagram, and that was quite insightful. But now I want to know, generally for podcast sake, what was your starting
Uh-huh.
experience with Lobby Zero, since you were probably one of the core members.
Okay, so basically, I joined about a year ago. This is back when the coronavirus, was pretty new and lockdown was going on, at least in Singapore. For context, for those who don't know, I'm in Singapore right now. So is Morgan. So I was serving the nation in the army. I don't want to get into it. These guys will diss me. Since I was doing that, I was pretty free. I was really free,
Okay.
like most of the
Wow.
days. Like I'll get home, I'll be gaming with these guys, like Namil and Isaac said. We used to hop on every day, play games. And then I was watching them as they're creating Lobby Zero. I'm like, shit, this is a good idea. I'm like, why? When are they gonna ask me to join? But then, so watching them create this on the game chat, I'm just listening like, shit, this sounds like a good idea, bro. Like, how do I get on board? And then after about a month or two or around
Whip
there,
up the question.
they finally asked me, I could see the conversation happening. I knew that's where I was going. I was like, shit, I'm listening. And then Isaac's pitch, by the way, is recorded on my PS4 and my game chat. We're playing For Honor, so I have it. It's the funniest pitch. I'm saving it for that one golden day. It's too funny. He's straight up just like, we've set up everything. We know what to spend money on. Now we just need the money. And he found out that I just got a bonus that month straight up. So he was eyeing my bonus. So I was like, damn, hell yeah. So I came on board. That's how I got in. And then at first I handled content. I was basically generating content through my own gameplay. I was gaming every day, so it was just perfect. I will screen record what I'm playing, and I'll use that for reels and captures and whatnot. Mostly I handle content then. And slowly now it grew. Now phase 2 of Lobby Zero, like they said, it's a whole nother game. Phase 1 was pretty chill. It was, just a relaxed Instagram page content, that kind of stuff. Phase 2 is actually insane, actually proper high quantity content and quality content. So right now I handle social. So YouTube, Instagram, etc. So yeah, so right now I handle social and it's pretty fun. That's what I feel like I'm good at. And Lobby Zero is actually growing pretty well. And it's not just my individual work. It's actually a combination of, Chris, Rahul, all of us, Isaac, everybody, all of us together, just putting in the teamwork to help with the content and stuff, the content team, all of us together, just helping overall grow the page. And we are going pretty well so far. And we're going to get better. And yeah, guess, I don't know what else is there to talk about. Shit. But yeah.
So you've done,
save me, bro.
You've done shooting in game and outside in the real life.
Sorry?
Yeah.
So have you handled a gun while you were in? Because you might be the very few people who have.
I was intentionally skipping past that. Because I'm one of the unique few members who was in the army who did not touch a gun.
Okay.
No, but I believe Morgan has handled a gun though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't your DP like you're on a freaking? Your DP is literally you're on a big gunning machine or something like that. If I'm not wrong.
Dude, I thought that was paintball or something.
I think for my national service, I was with the Air Force. So yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh damn.
Secret Sim, that's cool.
See, this is why I intentionally skipped past it. I was actually in firefighting. By fires, bro. Real terror. But yeah.
It's like that comparison between Top Gun and those Android game ads you get those characters running in 2D. It's like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A note to Namil and Isaac. The introduction story to each of our team members in itself is a content piece, guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a highlight.
I'm blown
extracted.
I have to pause now and get off.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yes.
Yep.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
All right, bro.
See you, Morgan.
Thanks for joining
Have a
in.
good run, guys.
See you later.
Yeah.
Take
care.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Peace out, bro.
See, bro.
So yeah, moving on from that, I'd like to get a perspective from Chris Anderson, who's basically been doing handling our design. Does most of our YouTube videos and editing. So yeah. The same.
He's the
basic,
backbone of the content creation.
Yeah. So how do you how did you get along with Lobby Zero, and how did everything start for you?
So my starting was not actually at Lobby Zero, but then my starting goes way back to 2018 with Hoodie Inc. And I sort of like I was being with these guys as they went on through their new ideas and stuff. So the thing is, every time these people come with a new idea, somehow or the other, it's it's exciting, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. Okay, cool. And then that's how we jump from Hoodie Inc. to T Inc. to Lobby Zero, and I'm pretty sure the next one's coming up. So that's how it is.
Exposed.
Yeah.
Exposed.
Yeah, but But that's the thing. I mean, like, see, so what I feel like is like when I'm working with Lobby Zero, so I don't usually tell people that I'm working under Lobby Zero or working at Lobby Zero. It's always working with Lobby Zero, because the thing is, it's more than work. It's actually sort of fun to work on a project with friends and people who I've known for a while. So that is what keeps the whole thing going inside Lobby Zero. And I'm sure I speak for like everyone. I think that's the common the vision and the vibe that pulls everyone together. So yeah.
It's the one thing that Nabil dreads.
We'll have that pop up on effects. we'll have that pop up on effects now.
Yeah. No, I mean, one thing that I want to say about Anderson is that he's been almost an extension of our team because he's been involved with the other projects as well. He's been a design backbone and creative backbone for us. It's almost like even if Nabil or myself, we have ideas. When it came to execution, like the person that we had to go to was Chris, and this was from the get-go. And my favorite thing about the synergy that we have between the three of us when we started off is the way in which we evolved together, because I feel like our aesthetic and design language has also evolved to a certain degree, and Chris is a big reason that it has happened. In the beginning, it was more of an execution thing, but then he started taking ownership over the creation. It was not just execution. He was taking ownership over the ideation, the creation. And once he got comfortable with the whole, I think this is what we should do. And we started hearing we started hearing more of that. Instead of Nabil and me saying, no, I think the shading should be a little better over here.
Put the line here.
Like Chris,
it's always
I don't think
screen share calls.
Yeah, Rahul doesn't understand how fortunate he is that Chris has prepared Nabil and me Chris has taught us in a very, very patient way in how to deal with designers. Like honestly, because Chris is extremely patient. He's like one of the nicest guys I know, and because he's so patient and slow, and he's like, yeah, okay, cool, let's do it. But then later, thank God we had the brain power to understand that he was just being kind and not accepting everything we were saying. We realized that, okay, we need to take a step back. And we also realized the second we took a step back, when he was just executing, like the shit was splendid. It was phenomenal. And I think he's evolved so much over time as well. And that's what you see on the creatives that go out in tandem with Rahul,
I think one thing to add in with respect to Chris is, I remember like after we transitioned from Hoodie Inc. to T-Inc. and when we were at the advent of Lobby Zero and at the dawn of the beginning, I remember telling Isaac, like, I don't care what we do, we need Chris. Like, whatever we're doing, we need Chris. And Isaac's like, yes, we need Chris. And then the thing is, like, Chris is so accommodating in terms of like our ideas. Like Isaac said, he's very patient and everything. I think which he doesn't get enough credit for. But something significant, at least for us, was like I think in March when I was in India, we met Chris. I'm in Dubai, by the way. So when I come down, every time we try to meet up, and when we met Chris, he just understands exactly what we go for, and I think it's helped us. Like it's just we're on the same frequency in general, and like he said, it's not just about working. It's actually doing something with your friends and creating something bigger than the idea, right? And he's just always been on board, someone that's always open to ideas. And yeah, I think it's really important that we are here. We are the people that we are because of Chris in a way as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Just a small thing to add on. I'm a big fan of all the communication content out there. So kudos to you,
absolutely.
Chris and Rahul. It's
Rahul.
brilliant work. And also let us know in the comments, guys, what you all think about our team's work.
They do
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
best, designs and everything to the table.
Head on to the
moving
Instagram
from-
page. Yeah.
It gets better every day. That's the best part of it, though.
Yeah.
We can have like a do-it-yourself session with one of these masters.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
For everyone out
Yeah,
there
if
who would like to
Oh yeah, another
maybe a
promotion.
walkthrough.
Yeah, for aspiring designers out there who want to try your
Yeah.
career into graphic designing or content creation with Lobby Zero, you can join our Discord. Link will be in the description, and you can hit me up or even Chris. One of us will schedule the class.
We are
We'll hold
we are actually
Saturday
open for interns,
live
right?
design,
At the moment.
like Lobby Zero.
At the moment of the
Yeah.
recording, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have Saturday live streams of you guys just teaching design classes on how to design thumbnails like Lobby Zero.
This week we're going to
yeah,
teach how
we
to
can-
use
we can-
gradients.
Oh yeah. And then you have a game on the side, and yeah.
Guys, I forgot. Also, Chris and I go back way long back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
one
we
thing.
test buds
I guess,
back in
yeah.
5th grade. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
very
what?
excited.
Fun
Couple of
fact. Oh,
years,
Namil
yeah.
didn't know. Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, even I don't know.
School.
Yeah.
I like school friends.
No, that's Wibber for me.
School friends from
Wait, which
Yeah.
Whichever school.
Bob
No, before
BBM.
global, I'm guessing.
Bhavans,
Before
Girinagar,
global, yeah.
Cochin.
Oh, before
Way
Global.
back.
Yeah.
Because I knew Chris
Yeah.
from Global.
So,
in
yeah.
Yeah,
sixth
that's
grade.
something.
So that's why I was thinking. I was like, hold on. Were you with Global? Did I not know that? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Yep.
moving on from one design lead to another major design player for our team, Rahul. He
Yeah.
specifically asked me to incorporate something about esports so that he can
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, sure. I mean, I'd like to point out that on the day we are recording this, he just he conducted an entire live stream for the semifinals of COD Mobile tournament.
Equal credits goes to Debraj also actually. Like
Yeah.
without
Yeah,
him, I don't
shout
think
out.
Shout
Uh,
I
out
wouldn't have
Debraj.
been able to pull this out.
So kudos to Rahul and
Absolutely.
Devraj, and you could find those videos. Link will be in the description or on the channel.
We're gonna have
Some
like
call out
50
here and
links
there.
after this. We're gonna have 50 links.
Actually,
after
you know
this.
what? We'll have
It
a
is good
separate
pop
link
up.
tree,
Cards will
link tree
pop
for episode 1 of Ground Zero podcast. We'll have like all the links that
Link tree
we
for
talked
that,
about in
yeah,
this podcast. in that
Yeah,
link tree.
absolutely.
Yeah.
A link repository. Yep.
So
But
yeah,
yeah.
Rahul, how did you get into?
Okay,
Lobby
so
Zero,
I think before I get into the details of how I met the guys at Lobby Zero, the better context would be Namil, Chris, Anderson, and Isaac. All three of them, all four of us actually are from the same school. Fun fact:
Yeah.
I'm the oldest guy in the group. They are actually 4 years juniors in school. Yeah, so that's how old I
Wow.
am. So I think Namil, I knew him much more in school. Chris was I never really interacted with him in school. Obviously, I mean because so many people, right? Namil I knew because I have a friend Noah, common friend of Nitin as well, and all of
Nitin,
them.
yeah.
So Isaac had left school early, so even I knew about Isaac, I knew about Chris. I never had interacted with them. That's the only thing. Namil, we had I think spoken in school, here and there once or twice. A lot of mutual friends and stuff between our batches. So this was around the time I think last year again, during the pandemic when it began. I was at home, completely stuck, and gaming came to my rescue. I mean, I was a gamer for a long time. It's just that my whole passion amplified a lot because I had a lot more time. So I got into streaming and all of that. So that was the time around when I still have those bunch of friends. We have a group of around 10 to 15 people where we just sit and discuss ideas. There are a couple of them who have been playing esports professionally and all that. So I always kept thinking in the gaming industry, and especially at a time like this, I mean, there couldn't have been a better time, to get into this business. The same thing what Namil talked about was the same realization even I had. So then fast forward to March, because the whole year, I knew for a fact I needed a team, It's just that all of us had like full-time jobs, so like nobody was really ready to commit to the whole thing. So fast forward to, I think it was March, right, Isaac?
Yeah,
I think it was
March,
March.
yeah.
This year March. So that was around the time when Isaac quit his job. I had already quit my previous job. I actually interacted with Chris, on a more personal level than anybody else over here. Later last year, like for unspoken reasons, I don't want to bring that up over here. It was for like I wanted him to get on on board. So I was a creative director in my previous employment. So we were looking for like a talented visual artist. I had gotten Chris's portfolio. I called him for an interview. Things did not work out for like different reason. But like after I quit my job, for 2 months I was literally just sitting at home learning a lot of things and gaming, like production, streaming, then a lot of content creation and all that sort of stuff. And around the time of March was when Isaac quit his job and he put out this story on Instagram saying that hey guys, I just want to have a conversation with you all, like gamers or people who are into gaming. So when he put that story out was the time when I was like, hey, what, like anyway I've been like trying to look for people where I can have like the same like the ideas that I had in my head, to start executing them one by one, even if it's like on a small level right now. So I hit him up, and then we had like a couple of texts, and after that we got on a call, and I think that is literally where like we kind of hit the whole thing, because the ideas that he had and the ideas I had like just went hand in hand sort of a thing. So after that, then I met the rest of the team as well, and we had like a whole conversation over there. And obviously, this was like me, a new guy entering into the core team over there, and there were like a lot of questions. And that was around the time like I kind of told them 100% what my interest was. Like I started my own studio, but like gaming and the whole project, no, I won't say a project, like my whole passion that I wanted to bring out through Lobby Zero was something that I wanted to see, something that I wanted to see personally being involved in the gaming industry itself. So that was somewhere where like the whole connection of me getting into Lobby Zero pretty much. And then now and since all these guys just play AAA titles and adventure games, I was like, bro, we need some sports, we need some esports player in this shit, so I'm coming in with that.
I mean, I'm glad we have someone who can handle that angle though. It's pretty huge.
It's
and I remember
so
even
huge
now,
in India.
I
remember
watching
having
how many people have viewed our esports.
yeah,
It's gone way above like 400 already.
yeah.
It's probably
nice.
the most watched video right now.
I think
out of like 6.
Link in the
Out of like
description.
6 videos.
Yeah.
The link in the description.
Everything in the
6.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember having a conversation with Namil after talking to Rahul, and I was like, "This is our guy," because when we had a chat, when I decided to quit my job and we were trying to figure out, okay, what's the strategy here? What are we going to do next? What's the next steps? It was very clear that we had to go and find people who can help us build this thing the exact way that we wanted to. And because we knew, okay, these are the verticals that we want to build out, we were like, cool, what we need is people who can fill in the void that we have with respect to these verticals. Like after that, those first initial conversations with Rahul, I was like, I called him Namil and I was like, this is our guy. He can, as far as, esports go. Yeah, as far as esports go, and like not just esports, but the kind of contacts he has, and the fact that he did the groundwork himself even before I reached out. Like he said, he was doing his own thing, and he was trying to figure out how to get into it himself. And as a result of that, he had done a bunch of groundwork, and we were talking about stats and stuff, and he was giving me stats. He was giving me stats and information on demographics that Namil and I had researched in a Starbucks. Yeah. And I was like, wait, 1 billion market in 2022? Yeah, okay, where are we going? So yeah, we were all on the same plane.
Yeah. I think,
so yeah,
just
that's
like
one
one
thing.
thing I wanted to add there, like, so, at the time when I had joined Lobby Zero, and from then till now, like, with all the people that we have, like, still have on the team, and, like, people who were in the team, it's been like, the one thing which has been common is that everybody has a passion with gaming, even though they have, like, full-time jobs and stuff. And we all have like this dream that we are looking at, like, eventually this should be something that we should be pursuing full time. I mean, that is a goal over here. So that was the whole, I think, motivation for all of us as well over here, that, we need to make this big in order, like, I think that's the only way when you think about it practically. Only if you are able to turn this full time is, like, when you can take this to a level where, like,
100%.
yeah, take it to the IPO level sort of a thing. But money
True
for
ground zero for
me
gaming.
out of the gaming never really, I don't think for anybody over here, money was like the main thing. I mean, if you make money, that's a good thing. But being the influencer in the gaming industry, that was, I think, like, the bigger challenge over here. So that is something that we are trying to, fulfill.
No, the vision is about gaming.
Yeah.
But the business is about money. It's as simple as that. Vision is about gaming and the business is about money. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Rahul, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was your inspiration to quit your job, man? I mean, and then stick on to your liking with the whole gaming thing, right? Like, I'm pretty sure if we are going to get a lot of listeners for this podcast, there are a lot of people who would like an answer from you on that. You took 2 jumps, right? You left your job, then did some training, workshops, and then
I feel like even Isaac could
started your
answer
own
this
gig.
question.
Yeah. So I think Isaac's whole thing, I mean, like, his whole motivation was like, he wanted to quit his job so that he can focus on Lobby Zero full time. Because with the current capacity that everybody is, he's the only guy who can, pull that off. Like, being full time with Lobby Zero. Like, even if you call him at 12 a.m., saying that, dude, we need to get this done. He's the guy you can get in touch with in terms of Lobby Zero, because he's the only guy who can put in that time.
Who doesn't have a job?
I mean, simple way to put it, yeah, that's the answer to it. But in terms of me quitting my previous job, was that I wanted to pursue, not exactly a career, like my passion of becoming a creative director, like in life, like that was my goal, going ahead. So that is when, like, my streaming. So even with my streaming also, like, I might not have done a lot of streaming, but I've like done shit tons of branding and, like, promotions and all that. So that was one way to do it. And when I got into Lobby Zero also, like, this was one avenue where I was, I am able to grow in that direction as well. So I'm not, like, completely jobless. I do have, like, a studio on the side, but that is for me primarily to the only two goals over there. One is, like, obviously the sustenance part of things, like, we still need money to survive. So that is, like, the one goal. And the second one was, like, for me, so when you work as a designer in a firm, you basically have to do what you're told. Like, you don't have a say over there, like, because at the end of the day, you are responsible to finish the work and get the money. But when you run your own studio, you can select your own clients. So that way, like, I'm a lot more fortunate now, like, with the people I'm getting to work with. But Lobby Zero definitely, like, that is the end goal for me. The way I look at it in terms of, like, me growing as a creative director even there, because I've gotten, like, a really amazing team. And for me, it's really simple right now with, Chris also by my side. Whenever I have an idea, I just tell him, like, see, this is the vision I have with the particular content or the particular video. And he's like, okay, boss, I got it. Just give me, like, 2 hours or something. I'm going to draft you some, like a visual representation of what you're trying to say. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's the shit. So that is exactly what, Namil and Isaac have been telling earlier. Like, he's able to execute things on his own. And that has been, like, a really big help, in terms of building the creative team as well. Because we have, like, really good talent now. And Chris has been, like, the backbone for that. So, like, when I said earlier, like, the whole content creation, Chris is the backbone for it. This is the reason. He's the guy who's putting in the effort of making sure that at the end of the day the output that we get is going to be 100%, our 100% at least. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, anyone who wants to quit their job and get into gaming, please do your research first.
Link below.
Link below also. Link below also, definitely. But yeah, one thing for sure, yeah, please do. Yeah, you need to do a lot of research because this is something the gaming industry has been talking about, for the last couple of years. It has grown a lot in India, but the whole acceptance in the society is still the hurdle that we are trying to cross. The hurdle is becoming lower as time goes by, but it's still there.
Yep.
So
And I feel like, this is so, yeah.
yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, we are sort of not just doing this for ourselves, but I feel we are also paving a path for anybody who does want to go into this direction as well,
Sure.
to,
Yeah.
make your life easier and, where the get goes are and stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
we'll circle back to this discussion again because I think it's a pretty important topic to talk about. But before that, let's talk a little bit about Namil. Namil, you've been handling our finances, funding, and apparel. So since we've already heard about how Lobby Zero came to be because of you and Isaac. So I'd like to know a bit more about the apparel side of Lobby Zero, and I'm sure even the audience would be interested in it.
Right. I think first thing is something that Rahul said. How we're not really thinking about money right now. Revenue doesn't matter. I'm like,
No.
I mean, see, like I said, money is important, but the primary motive is not money. Just to make that clear.
100%, 100%. I agree. As in, I completely agree. At this particular stage, it's all about growing the community. It's all about putting our name out there, pushing our conviction. But in terms of apparel, it was pretty straightforward answer purely because since Isaac did quit his job and he is the one managing everybody in a way, the way I could help is apart from the finance and BD part was apparel because I had handled Hoodie Inc. as well as Tea Inc. In terms of getting sales, in terms of handling customers, understanding the nature of the issues that can occur, all of those things unfortunately was so familiar to me. So as a result, it made more sense for me to handle it. So like I said, since the infrastructure was already set up, it was very easy to kind of create a portal for Lobby Zero to have the first creation of the apparel segment. And I mean, in terms of designing everything, when you understand how that business works, it's a universe on its own. So we're trying to create that vertical and create that universe on its own as well. And again, we have a vision of being the first streetwear brand focusing on gaming in the future. Obviously, we have a specific aesthetic that we go for as well, which I think the gaming audience will appreciate.
In India.
So that's the goal. in India.
Yeah, stay
But
tuned to
not
find
only
out
in India,
more.
in Dubai as well as Singapore as well as Asia.
Yes.
If people don't know,
Soon global.
inspired to expand.
And if there are brands who are already the first, don't sue us, please. This is just like a asterisk at the end sort of a thing.
yeah.
According
Of
to our
course.
research.
According to our research, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another thing is, so there are multiple ways to kind of approach the apparel segment as well. So a few things that we identified are there are streamers out there that want to push their content. They push their content. They're popular out there. They want to push their own merchandise. So we hope to be that the partner that can just take care of all the messy work and they can just focus on kind of creating their persona through their designs and pushing it out to their audience, hopefully. Link below. And not only that, I think in terms of what apparel means, I think there is a significance as well. So when you believe in something so much or when you are passionate about something so much and when you go mile to actually buy something that you like and wear and represent. I think that's something that we want to kind of just like encourage and support and do as well. So when a gamer represents a game that he likes or believe in, and if we can be the vessel or the channel through which we can make it happen, we would surely go for it. And hopefully we're trying to make that a reality. And eventually we hope to grow and kind of have our own apparel studio and everything. So that's the vision. But in terms of finance, I think so. Like I said, so when Isaac and I started off itself, we kind of wanted to define roles as well. Even though we had to do everything, we still wanted to know who would be like accountable at the end of it, for certain things. So he was doing marketing, I was doing economics and finance. So as a result, we just like it wasn't even discussed.
Yeah.
Like we just knew what our roles were, and in a way. But yeah, there are some overlaps and certain things that we're both passionate about, which is like business development and stuff. And I think that was another reason why like the first two businesses really helped. It was such a steep learning curve purely because we really want to identify what we were passionate about within a business, like what would we want to handle, what we want to take care of, right? And then in a way, like it's helped me understand what I'm passionate about. I graduated. Right now, I'm a consultant in valuations and M&A, which is why I'm taking care of funding as well. So it's all about like understanding what your value can be for the business and what your value potential is for the business and contributing in that capacity, but not forgetting to be passionate about what you're doing, and like in the sense that I'm genuinely passionate about business development. So it doesn't restrict me to just finance. I can still contribute in that capacity as well. If I have ideas, I approach whoever's in charge of whatever vertical. And I think it's just a safe space for us to generally be ourselves, and it's a creative outlet for everybody on the team. Like there is no restriction imposed on anyone to hold back. And I think that is very important. And in terms of funding, at the end of the day, like we have to, if we want to grow, we have to achieve targets and we have to get investors on board. And for that, we have to sell the idea. We have to make them see what we see for the future and what the market potential is. And from like an extensive research that we had conducted, like the 1 billion number that Isaac mentioned, in 2025, India is projected to have 1 billion internet users, out of which there's going to be 600 million gamers playing online games. And majority of the population is 50% of the population is under 25, out of which and the gaming population 60% of the gaming population falls between 18 and 24. So we understand the demographic. We are the demographic, and we want to approach them in the right manner with understanding the nuances of the gaming industry and just making sure. Like I think that was something that we were pretty adamant about as well when we started off. We wanted to make sure it was informal enough to actually capture the essence of gaming. We did not want to come off as corporate-y. We did not want to exclude a certain section of the gaming society. We really wanted to be that one-stop shop for all gamers, and that was the vision. And I think we're all working towards it.
Yeah.
I will not say it. I will not say vision with a vibe, but I will say it now. But it is a vision, comma with a vibe.
With a vibe.
Yeah, so in a way, I think we're all aligned in terms of what we're trying to achieve collectively. I think that's really important. Understanding the potential of Lobby Zero and understanding that Lobby Zero will eventually become bigger than all of us, and we just want to do our part in getting it there. That's pretty much from my side. Yeah.
True. So yeah, I mean, if anyone's interested in getting some cool merch related to gaming, link
We're
is
gonna-
in the description.
Lincoln
You know
by.
what it is?
But-
We don't even have to say it anymore. We just point out.
Spoiler alert, we're coming up with like more new collections, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Link in the
Check
description
out-
again to stay tuned.
I just realized if we are planning to push this on Spotify and like other podcast platforms, how are we going to do the links?
Oh yeah, that's a
Oh,
problem.
we'll get the links
Head
there.
to our
We'll get the
YouTube
links there.
podcast and then go to the link.
Or to make
It's
every
Spotify podcast.
or
Yeah.
no
Right there in the lyrics,
the
lyrics,
Spotify.
in the lyrics section.
or to
Lyrics,
make
yeah.
things simpler, whoever is listening to this, you can go to our Instagram. It's called Lobby Zero. I don't think you can
Yeah.
mess that
Yeah.
up. There's a link over there in that bio. Before hitting that, hit the follow button and then hit that link. You'll find everything over there. You'll find everything in that Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is
And
there.
join everything.
Everything.
And subscribe everything. Notification bell.
Join everything.
Oh, that's
Funny.
Moving on to our final member, Isaac.
Yeah.
Sort
Yeah.
of like the bonding for the team. He's been the first person I contacted during Lobby Zero, and I believe many of us share this
yeah.
experience. He sort of like brings everyone together for anything. So yeah, Isaac, would you like to add something to this? I wouldn't ask you to, answer a specific
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of the story that goes into Genesis of Lobby Zero has already been covered.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm kind of intertwined with that. So I don't really have much to add to the genesis of Lobby Zero or how I got started. Like it's already talked about. I think the biggest thing for me with Lobby Zero at this moment is the realization that we were able to find each other. That's the biggest thing for me. To be able to identify the people that we can work with, and to be able to identify people who can share the passion. That's the biggest thing for me, because as far as I'm concerned, the most pivotal point, at least for me and the business, the way I look at it is me quitting my job. And the biggest part about me quitting my job and deciding to do this full time was me riding on the hope that I would be able to find people who can help me build it. Honestly, like there's somebody, there was already someone in Namil who had context, and also context in the sense that I would complain about my job quite a bit, but I never gave any warning to anybody who was existing that I was going to quit my job. So, I mean, in the sense I was going to quit my job and then start working on Lobby Zero. So for me, the biggest thing was, okay, cool. Like if I'm going to do this, I'm going to give myself a certain amount of time. I've saved up this much money, which will barely get me through, let's say 6 to 7 months. So the idea is I'm going to do this. If I'm going to take a risk, now is the time to take that risk. And if I am going to take that risk, then I better be doing it for something that I'm really passionate about, because I probably wouldn't have the chance later on. And if I'm going to be able to, if I'm going to have the best chance of succeeding at that, it has to be with people who can help me do that. So that's when I started looking. Like I never put stories like that out on my Instagram. The only reason I put it out was like, I literally went, hey guys, so I've quit my job and I've decided to do this full time for 6 months. So if there's anyone out there who wants to have a conversation, let's have a conversation. Next day, Rahul texted me.
Verbatim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next day, Rahul texted me and conversations went from there. And we've worked at a specific pace over the past 2 months that I have not experienced with any of my other projects. The speed at which that we're working and the level of productivity at which that we're working, I haven't experienced before. So a lot of that credit goes to the people that we were able to find and get on board. Some of them we knew already, like Chrislin, Morgan. These are guys. Also, you never know. Like these are people that, like Chrislin is someone I call best friend, but you never know. You can't just get into a business just because he's your best friend. But it's kind of translated in a way where he was able to deliver. Once he found his space, he was able to deliver. He was able to double down and be productive for the business, and the business is productive because of him. And so yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing is finding the people. This is a community in and of itself. The team that we have here is a community in and of itself. And hopefully, and it's such a diverse community. That's another thing that's big for me. Like I'm somebody, if you go and watch the stream earlier with Apex Legends, I'm a complete noob. Like competitive gaming, I suck.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm somebody who just sit there and I'll appreciate the art of Lincoln bio. But I'm someone who will appreciate the art of different kinds of video games and stuff. But then you have such a spectrum over here. where different kinds of people are interested in different aspects of the gaming world. And I don't know if I've accepted this, but maybe I do have a passion in bringing people who are interested in all different kinds of shit together to make something happen. So I think something beautiful is in movement here. And just recently, I was talking to Namil, and he was trying to figure out the numbers and what we're going to do, at the end of 6 months in terms of raising funding, in terms of getting investment. And he was like, "Oh shit! Like this is getting serious." And so that's the one thing that I really wanted to get to. I wanted to get to when I quit my job. I was like, I want to get to the stage where it really feels like this is serious and this is the real deal. And so yeah, everyone on this team is moving at such a. I don't think anybody on this team has experienced this kind of speed. I don't think so. This kind of productivity, this kind of speed. In terms of building something, yeah, look at the calendar.
I mean, that's not even the complete calendar, actually. If you want to see the Lobby Zero stuff,
It's just mine, yeah.
yeah, that's Chris's
See Isaac's
calendar.
calendar.
I have a different one. If you want to see the whole thing, you should see Isaac's calendar.
We just
Isaac's
blue.
calendar.
It's
We'll have a
literally just
calendar
blue.
review,
Blue.
like
It's
another
complete
episode.
blue. You can't even see the number.
Another episode.
Date.
Life at Lobby Zero. Yeah.
So
That's another episode.
and that's been a joy to me, honestly. When I was a kid, I hated scheduling. My dad would always say, wake up, write down this to do in the morning, this to do in the evening. I'm like, man, I'm gonna take it as it comes, man. I'm a chill guy. I don't have to care about all this. And now I'm the guy who's like, guys, check your calendar, guys, check your Trello, just check every check Trello,
I
check
think,
calendar.
most mornings, I think nowadays he started like sending screenshots like, guys, we need to do these
Yeah.
things
This is what
today.
needs to be
It's
done.
like this
All
like,
the calendars
this
are created
long
by
list
one
of like
person.
this stuff.
Just things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's honestly a source of joy for me because when I look at that calendar, I know we are getting shit done. Like
Yeah.
categorically, there's so much stuff being done, and I think hopefully we are by June 7th, which we passed.
yeah, June
Wait, today is June 7th, bro.
Yep.
We're in
We're
June
already
7th
June
right now. So today marks the completion of the second month of operation, like second month of official operation for Lobby Zero. And I think we've accomplished quite a bit in this time frame. Now the goal is to, by September, October, to get this to a stage where, this is something that an investor can look at and be like, okay, you guys are onto something, and here's my money.
Yeah.
So
We become
I
the
think-
disruptors basically in the industry.
Yeah.
Right.
I think one thing that I don't want to discount is basically like all the conversations that we've had in terms of Lobby Zero. So I think most of the things that's happened is because of Isaac actually just like quitting his job and focusing on having conversations.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why podcast is like so important, at least according to me, and it's a great source of content and information.
True.
I think if people do see this, I think if you are interested in terms of gaming and having a conversation, like link below.
Don't steal our ideas though.
don't steal our idea. Ideas, yeah.
So I mean, I think it's quite important. I was just listening to everybody talk, and I was just thinking like how key conversations are.
Yeah.
And it wasn't targeted at anything. It wasn't to achieve an objective or anything. It's basically transformed into something else. So if anybody is up for having a conversation, if you want to get to know more about or anything, just reach out. And
Discord server.
because we're still so young, we're still in such a basic stage. We have so much to experience. We have so far to go,
Yeah.
and we don't know how we can benefit off of each other. And if you're up for it, if you're up for a
Yeah.
conversation, please get in touch. Yeah.
I'd like to say, like Isaac mentioned, it's 7 today. It basically, turned 7th as we were recording this. It's just been 15 minutes to.
Oh,
after
yeah.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So sort of like the
Yeah.
hustle, and I believe it's basically because all of us are so passionate about video games and
Yeah.
gaming in general, and that kind of passion just translates into doing something that we like so much from the bottom of our heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of us are doing our best in whatever we are
Absolutely. Absolutely.
doing.
And I think that's the biggest factor that I see that's driving guys like Vibhav and Debraj to execute at such a high level, even on an intern position right now. Because I mean, first of all, even before going into that stage, obviously the functions that they're doing as interns are not like intern level work, because we're such a nascent stage organization. Like, well, they're doing employee level stuff, right? And in fact, not just employee level stuff, but even matching the kind of rigor and the hustle that even the partners have to put in. Like they're matching that, which is why work is going out. And I know, and this is something that I only realized once we started bringing people on, as interns or whatever, the fact that this community, this market is such a passion-led space that it's also somewhere a place where people want to prove something. They want to prove something to the people around them who don't take gaming seriously.
They want to validate
every one of us, and I think this a big part of that is being Indian also. There's a cultural thing to it, There's a cultural thing. That's a common. A big part of being Indian, a big part of the cultural effect that has on is the market, or our parents, in other words, doesn't know what the opportunity might be here, and that's not a knock on parents, obviously not, but it's just the fact that things are evolving, and as gamers, we want to be able to take the opportunity to prove that. And so there's a lot of things that we do that we're not necessarily crazy about. I mean, I don't necessarily play a lot of mobile gaming, but today I sat and I watched a good chunk of that stream and I was entertained. Or even for Rahul, he had to sit there and he was taking care of the broadcasting. Yeah, he was taking care of the broadcasting.
4 hours, dude.
And
4 hours.
4 hours of broadcasting.
Play COD Mobile for like fun sometimes with my friends, and watching today's match was so exhilarating that casters,
absolutely
go crazy about.
Absolutely.
This was, in tandem to, sorry to break the thing, but like, since we were on the topic of CODM, even like, we had like a couple of hiccups, like, this was one experience we had yesterday, like, in terms of even us trying to find casters, like, we had like, what do you say? What is the word over here though? Like, we had already planned everything was put into place, but yesterday, like, the day one of the streaming, due to unforeseen circumstances, like, things went down. We didn't really have casters and stuff for the event, like, for the finals especially. But like, Isaac said, the whole gaming community, is passion driven, and we were actually able to find 2 people who were like, who came on board, who said that, we don't even want the money. We just want to like, do this for the community. We want to do this for people. And even like, when they heard about our story and stuff, it was all just completely about like, them contributing to this. So seeing that there are people out there, like, for me, I had just seen this bunch of people, like, within the Lobby Zero group itself, because our whole team itself, I think, it's just consisting of people who are over here because of the passion of gaming. I don't think like, there was anything beyond that they were really looking at. Because if that was the case, then I think they would have like gone to some, MNC or big funded gaming organization. So in terms of that, I think, like Isaac said, community driven, and that is what, drives the whole thing. Us delivering anything. So even today's stream, if you watch, it's like, literally one guy who did the production and then one guy who did the whole management, which is Debraj. Actually, like, more credits to him, because if it was not for him being motivated enough to run the whole thing and manage the whole event, I don't think I would have been even half motivated to, go through the effort and pain and sit there and like, do this thing. Like, I'm a person who hates mobile gaming, but like, I enjoyed the whole process, even though it was quite tiring because it was lengthy. So, big hats off to the, organizations out there that are doing this. It's not easy. It's not at all easy. You think streaming is easy, you just sit in front of a camera and play games. No way, bro. You gotta have like, 10 things in place to entertain people.
Absolutely.
True. So, talking about being passionate about games, and since we all like different games in general because of different things. Uh, so this month is pretty exciting about video games. E3 is coming around. There's several new releases, several announcements. We covered three of those last week. So any link in the bio. Any upcoming games that you guys are excited about?
And also adding on to Vibhav's question, with all the story we had, right? I think
Yeah.
this past lockdown has been real special in terms of gaming, right? Like the idea
Oh, yeah.
of playing Forza. In my case, it's been Forza.
Hmm.
To
Oh,
roam
shit.
around in
Horizon?
this big, beautiful place. Yeah, Horizon. Forza
Horizon.
Horizon 4. So it would also
That's
be
set in
interesting to
England,
get
right?
your stories. Sorry?
That's set in England? That's set in England?
Yep, Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Edinburgh.
Yo, that's beautiful. That game is
Yeah.
beautiful, bro. I've seen the gameplay.
So
It's
the
ridiculous.
idea of, I think Namil rightfully said, all right, Rahul, sharing this thing with the community, right?
Exactly.
Even if it's your
Yeah.
close friend, the idea that you can escape, and it's not exactly escaping. It's something bigger than that. It's taking shape now,
Yeah.
is what I can say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
a
an
small experience
in
from
itself.
your own game titles that you like in the past lockdown would be great if you guys can share.
Yeah.
There's going to be a question
absolutely.
for this whole bunch because I don't play AAA titles. I don't play adventure games.
Hey man, Valorant gives
Uh,
good experiences
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah.
Any aces that you're proud of?
I think like I'll just start it off and finish it. For me, like anything like first person shooters, I think that's pretty much it. When I started gaming right after, I think like when I joined college, it was Counter Strike 1.6, and after I left college, I shifted to Counter Strike Global Offensive. But sooner or later, I think when PUBG Mobile came out was around the time like one of my friends introduced. That is the point where I started, meeting people, making friends, like really close friends. The group that I was talking about, the 10 people. For me, my gaming experience would have been total, bullshit if it wasn't for like these 10 to 15. Now it's like a bigger group, but back then like it was 5 of us. So I mean, if you're watching this, thank you. You saved my life. Doesn't look like a hug either way. So it started off for me CS 1.6, CS:GO, PUBG Mobile, and then after that, I think we all just collectively sat down and started trying new titles. So that was around the time when Valorant came out. So for me, I think my primary game right now is Valorant. I started, but like I started getting better at other games. Like Apex is there. There's Titanfall. There is Overwatch now, which was like recently there was a sale, so I got it for that. Rainbow Six Siege. So like FPS games, yeah, I think it pretty much covered like the major titles right now.
So with Titanfall, because I'm also especially motivated about Titanfall. That was the last game that I've played during the lockdown.
So is this Titanfall 1
I'm
or
guessing
2?
you're talking
2.
about Titanfall 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you like the multiplayer or do you like the story campaign?
Honestly, I've not played the campaign. I just played the multiplayer. Like for me, I don't like sitting alone and playing. If only my friends are there, like
True.
I can play.
Fair
Otherwise,
enough.
I concur.
I can't. Because especially FPS games, if you go solo queue, you're gonna meet like toxic as people. Like no hate to the Indian community.
True.
There are people that I've met who have been like really really sweet, but that percentage is like really low. Maybe like in my statistical experience, it might be like 5% of my whole FPS career that I've met like these sweet people. But otherwise, the moment I ask a teammate, can you drop me a gun? He's like, Saleh Bhencho Chutiye. You can beep all of that shit out.
We'll
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah, put that.
So,
Yo, Zach,
that's
actually,
the
when you
thing.
said that small
Also-
5% of the nice people thing, right? Zach, do you remember back when when Hisham found that that little kid, that really this sweet little kid? Do you guys remember?
Oh, yeah.
So adorable. We randomly bumped into him, and then we started playing games. We added him as a friend. He was I think 12-year-old
12 years
kid.
old. 12 years old.
Crazy. That was so adorable, and he was really good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he was really good.
so guys, sorry to interrupt, but I think I might have to like sort of drop off. But
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll see you guys in
No worries.
Oh wait, so there, you give us your the game.
Yeah,
of
what's your
the-
favorite game, bro?
Lockdown.
Game
What's
of
your favorite
the
game?
From your-
lockdown.
Like hands down. So I played Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
I
wow.
love the story in it, the environment, and I'm just waiting for the next one.
Yeah.
Forbidden West
Oh,
is like
yeah.
coming
Forbidden
out.
West.
Forbidden West, yeah.
We talked about it in the previous podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right.
see you guys.
Alright,
See
man.
ya.
All right.
See
See you.
Peace.
See you.
Nice talking to you.
Bye-bye.
Zach, you want to go next?
Yeah. Namil, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, for me, like, I think gaming started when I got my PS1. And since then, I
You had a
skipped
PS1?
PS3. Yeah, PS1, PS2.
What? Okay.
Damn.
Yeah,
Ancient,
so I think
bro.
that's when it started for me. And then, like, Dragon Ball Z, all the oldest games you can possibly think of. I was playing cricket. But
Mhm.
so the thing is, I used to be really into sports, and I would play all these games. So I would break my hand and stuff, and I would physically be incapable of playing those games in real life. And I would literally just, like, with a broken hand, I would hold a controller and I'd be like playing. And then I remember like just growing up. So I used to play a lot of FIFA, a lot of NBA until like I met Isaac. And he made me like sit down and explore the world of gaming. But FIFA and NBA and all of those, I have my fondest memories with those games because we would actually just like, sleep over, we would make our own teams and we would have like these crazy prizes. And like my best memories come from like things that were associated with gaming. And likewise, during the lockdown, I think I stayed with Isaac for a bit before that, and he had his PS4 set up in his room, and he would just like make me just notice the intricacies of the gaming universe, right? And he actually had this page. Nobody knows this. I'm gonna disclose this now. It's called the
Wow.
Fascinated Noob. Okay, so he had a page, and he wouldn't follow anyone. He just had it there, and basically he had a vision where, like, so he's been picking up these intricacies since like he started gaming. So when he would tell me and when we would talk about these things, like as someone that was so new to this, I would start paying attention, and just the way in which he was so drawn to it, like made me kind of appreciate the things that I wouldn't usually notice, right? And during
Could you
the
give us an
lockdown,
example
since
from-
it was like, sorry.
Can you give us an example from one of the games you guys played? Maybe a popular
Yeah,
title.
so during the lockdown, so we had a group, like the four of us, Zach,
Havoc,
Kristen,
baby.
Sham, and I. And so we were really driven by multiplayer games because we wanted to play with each other. And I think for me personally, I had just gone to Washington, D.C. in 2019 December. So that was like 4 months before the lockdown. And like it was so fresh in my memory. And I was like, I really missed the place. And I went there for a youth summit. And one of the games called Division 2 was set in Washington, D.C. And it was during pandemic. And, there was a quarantine and all of that. And I was just like, oh my God, this is real on so many levels. Like, and I was so fascinated
Yeah.
by it. And like, you're exploring that whole world. And I'm like, these are things that I actually just saw in real life, right? And I have pictures of, I'm going back to these places and I'm trying to get these guys to, hey, look, guys, I visited this place. I visited
So cool.
And then doing these missions together. And I think one of my favorite games, it's been favorite like for a long time now, GTA 5. GTA 5.
Yeah.
It's so the thing is I started off much later. These guys have been like grinding for ages, right? So when you start off, you can do heists together, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
at the end of the heist, you can decide to split when you take away the money, right? One of my favorite memories is like these guys are trying to help you like progress in GTA. So when you get more money, you can buy this factory, you can do like different kinds of car theft and stuff, and you can progress and get better offices, better flats. And they're like, okay, listen, you know what? He's new, so let's give him the biggest cut. Like, so they gave me like 50%, and the three of them like split 30%. And like I was sitting on like 300K or something, okay? And they're like, okay, go buy the office now, so you can like unlock the other heist. The very next moment, I pull up in this 300K watch. I'm like, yo, check this. What is that? Is that check out the drip? I did not have me to spend that 300K.
On a watch.
Imagine if Nabil had done that, with the stakeholding proposal.
Oh, boy. Too real.
And they were so
Too
vivid,
real.
but it was one of my favorite memories because they were so mad. They were so
Yeah.
mad. 'Cause, so that was one of my favorite memories, I think. So
But that was it was a pleasure for me to watch him internalize all of that, especially with Division 2 and shit, because that's another thing that I take a lot of pleasure in, just watching people who are uninitiated, like exploring everything, and seeing it happen. Like that's such a big thing for me, just to see them
I
embrace
believe
it.
that's kind of the thing that even brought me to
Right.
like sort of build a connect between us when we were talking about GDC. So
Oh,
we were
yeah.
just talking about how the intricate systems about video games work, and it's
Yeah.
like that's the moment. I mean, you say that that's kind of the moment you realize that this guy likes video games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For me also,
Yeah.
it was like the moment of realization that Lobby Zero has people who
Yeah.
What's
are so
GDC?
passionate about video games. And
Absolutely.
circling back to the discussion about different video games, even in a similar video game like just Titanfall 2, it's so beautiful how two experiences can be so different, with like Rahul, who basically found a multiplayer enjoyable because of probably how cool and how smooth the whole system flows, while I was just enamored by how well the campaign was made, and it was so well structured. And I mean, it's gaming in general, and the whole interactive media space is moving at such a good speed right now. It's sort of great that we as a generation can experience such an
course,
adventure in
100%.
itself.
Absolutely.
That's a
Absolutely.
very interesting thing you said about,
True.
one person going in for the social aspect in
Yeah.
games and the other being the, solitarian looking for the story ride.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think also a big thing for me finding the space between that was co-op, PvE.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the story and you have a narrative and you have this one thing that you're trying to accomplish, but then you also have the social aspect of it, which is you have three other guys or two other guys who are trying to get through that storyline together and like do things and discover things together. And that's such a unique, like, I think my favorite game modes are probably co-op and PvE because
I
What's
mean,
one
it's
title
a good
that
experience.
stays
For me-
close to your heart in co-op, Isaac?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Playing
there,
Left
could you
4
share
Dead
a title
with friends.
which,
A game
Can you-
that stays
yeah.
close to my heart.
yeah, in co-op?
So I
that
guess,
is.
I guess GTA 5 is a big one because I started playing that all the way from
Oh, okay, come on.
10th grade, if I'm not wrong, and was since 10th grade. I've been I remember going to I mean since 10th grade I've been going around. When I was in school, I'd be like, okay, guys, listen, this is how we're gonna do the heist when we go back home. You gotta go here. I used to go crazy. I was crazy about it. And and the fact that I was just talking to Chris, there's another friend of ours who hasn't played GTA Online at all. And I was just talking to Chris. I've restarted this game like along with him like 5-6 times from scratch. And I was slowly thinking about restarting again just to do all
And
the
they always
heists.
get banned because they.
We do.
I mean, this is bleep it, cut it. No.
If you want us to review your games,
That's definitely a game that stays close to my heart because there's so many things you can do and it allows you to do pretty much anything with your friends, and that's ridiculous. Like we can come. There was even a phase where we were movie making inside GTA 5. I remember.
Oh
back.
my gosh.
Like
Oh
between,
my
You
god.
have a clip. I think you have a clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically like we would have four. I think we would have. Sometimes we had more than four of us.
Bro, yeah.
And and we would have setups where I would think of a storyline. I'm like, okay, guys, we're gonna make a short movie, and these are the action sequences that are gonna be there. And you need to come in this truck, and then I'm gonna pan the camera this way.
Oh my
You know,
God, dude.
I'm gonna run up. And Rockstar did this amazing thing, which I don't know why they haven't done it for Red Dead yet, but they had a Rockstar editor inside GTA 5. And so you can do all these sequences that are in gameplay, and you can jump into the Rockstar editor and edit a full movie with like proper camera movements, panning, slow-mo, transitions, effects, all kinds of stuff.
So wait,
And-
there is a camera mode in GTA Online, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And
So you,
That's the thing.
you capture
You're not even kidding.
all, you
This
capture
guy
all the
actually
gameplay.
directed so many
Yeah.
games. I mean, so many short films. He forces us. We want to play the heist.
It's actually
Okay,
good.
he's actually good. Like we want to play the heist. We're all on board for the heist. He's like, "Yo, guys, before we head to the heist, I need your help with this one thing." We all like, "What is this shit?" He's like, "Okay, one of you got to stand on top of this truck. This truck will move forward this way. You all stand here. I'll be coming from this angle." And then it keeps screwing up, and he keeps doing it again. And we're like, "Bro, it's been 2-3 hours. When are we going to play the game?" But he did a good job. It was actually pretty good though in the end.
You need to set the tone for the.
Yeah.
He had a vision, but
we
nobody
have a
was vibing with
cinematic.
it. Segue. Okay, on that
This is-
note,
that's basic.
I'll have to like drop off because I got
Yeah.
like some urgent stuff coming.
This is like a battle royale. Like we're staying on for so long.
One by one.
Dropping
Yeah.
Teammate down.
One
Yeah.
round.
Teammate down.
Whoever stays last.
But I think the
Right,
podcast
boss.
recording has already gone like 3 hours into this now. We started at what, 10? 10?
Really?
Okay, 2.5 at
One
least.
for one on. Yeah.
We started at 11.
1 hour
Yeah.
40 minutes. Yeah.
It's closing in on 2 hours.
Oh shit, but
Yeah.
I'll have
We have
to leave
another,
the
yeah. It's not
thing
that
on for
long.
recording though.
All right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Switch off the
we can
camera.
wrap up in a.
I think we can wrap up.
Okay.
We can.
If,
Yeah,
there
we
is,
can wrap
if
up.
there is
And
a...
then-
I think wait, Chrislin's game and then
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much...
We have to.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay. I'll try and keep it short. Okay. So basically, I got into gaming when I was really young, like 12-ish. Like when my friend, when I went over for a sleepover and we played Halo on an Xbox original, the old Xbox, and that was amazing for me. Like I was so excited. It was so crazy. I convinced my dad to get the new Xbox 360. I begged him. I said, I will not want anything else in my life if you get me this console. And then he actually got it for me. And he's like, I know you still ask for more, but here's the console. And then I got Halo 3.
Yeah.
Just came out.
Dad
So
knows
Halo
you're
was
gonna
my
scam him, so.
yeah. So Halo was my go-to. Like I grew up playing Halo, and that's what got me into gaming. Like nothing else got me into gaming as much as Halo did. Like it was the Genesis, like Isaac uses. So from there, I expanded. Now, like I play a bunch of games. So it's hard to choose one game. Like my PS4, I have an external hard drive for 4 TB, and it's maxed out. Like I can't download more games now. So that's only my PS4. I have more on my laptop. But yeah. So so if I have to choose a game that I love, it's
The
gonna be
fact
hard.
that you have-
But what?
Sorry?
The fact that you have moved on to PS4 from Xbox says a lot about how Halo's going on right now.
Exactly. Smart
I
move.
just hope
Got on to that.
you
Yeah.
recognize justice.
I couldn't help it.
people
Like,
who are
like
watching
had to
this, don't
zero
add the
down
rate.
on a title.
Yeah, don't at the rate
On this.
Chrislin. Like, he supports Xbox and PS4.
both. I am all ground zero for gaming, baby. It's everything. Mobile gaming too,
Yes, sir.
Whatever you into. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I moved on to
Yeah.
PS4 because there's too many good exclusives, and I'm more into story games. I'm not really into. I'm not because I don't like it. It's because I suck at it. I'm not into these multiplayer games, these battle royales. I suck. You can see it. Link in the description. So I love like story games, and one of the moment I transitioned from story games to co-op was with Isaac when he found this game called Splinter Cell Blacklist. So this game, this is the game, my first ever
Yeah.
co-op-ish game other than Halo that I played with, and I bought it. Was like $5 on Steam. I bought it. He and I used to play it every other day, and it was so fun. It was story, which I love, and co-op with a friend, and stealth. It was beautiful. We played that again and again, and from then on, my passion for gaming grew even more to multiplayer games also slowly. And so we're waiting for another game like that. So Dying Light was the closest one. So hoping the new one is even better.
Oh,
So yeah.
Dutchwood.
Link in the description.
Dutchwood.
Our previous podcast we talked about that. So link in the
Talking
description.
about Halo, I really hope Halo Infinite goes
Yes.
back to its story roots.
Yes, I'm hoping for it, but it's going to be open world kind of, which is what I'm feeling. But we'll see. We'll talk about it in another podcast episode. Probably will be in the description
Yeah.
also.
I,
So,
We'll talk about it.
I feel like this is going to become like a Lobby Zero thing. Like, you know how Sydney Goodwin has that let's roll it or let's roll that, whatever that is. There's going to be.
We just go.
I think this and vouchers. Discount
Vouchers. we should just crop out hands.
Yeah.
That action.
Yeah.
and just
And
the,
just put there the video.
Yeah, the merch.
Just
This
go.
is the merch now. Like, you know, like this.
oh, dude.
That's
Yeah.
actually the merch though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the much.
Yeah, if you
Ground
guys
Zero
want
for
that merch,
Ground
link in the bio.
game. We can buy.
It's gonna
So-
be like
Okay,
a.
so to wrap it up, I'll just
Yeah,
say
so-
my
But
favorite
out of
games.
your story,
Yeah. Yeah.
story-based titles, right? If you must wrote down on one, like,
Yeah.
which one would it be?
Squeeze
Past
out
recent
two.
ones.
I'll squeeze out
That's
two is
passing out.
God of War, God of War,
Yeah.
and Red Dead Redemption 2. Those two. So nothing else can beat that for me right now.
Choices.
Those two are masterpieces. Too perfect.
Yeah, I think.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, even
Can't wait
for
for
me,
the
I think
God
it's
of War
gonna be
Ragnarok.
like I've played adventure games before, but like
Yeah.
not anymore.
God of War is really amazing.
Awesome.
God of War managed to do something with like a story that was almost about to become redundant and majorly
Mhm.
invent it into something so beautiful.
yeah, they changed
So
it
yeah,
like, from the
moving on
root. Yeah.
from the discussion.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, moving on from the discussion, we've had a lot to talk about already. And
Yeah.
we have a lot of interesting things going on in Lobby Zero too. So like
Yeah.
Isaac, would you like to expand on that a bit?
Absolutely. I'll do a quick wrap of all the cool things that are happening. We just initiated our campus ambassador program. So if there's anyone out there who really wants to help, who wants help building their gaming community in their own campus, in their own college, you should hit us up. We're open to anybody who has the chops to make this happen and needs our support to make it happen. Lobby Zero is big on building community in the gaming space, and we know that a lot of you guys in college, you guys are a big part of the people that we're trying to have conversations with. So get in touch with us, and we'll make this happen. Tournaments are a big thing for our esports side of things. A lot of things are happening there. We have just run first versions of a lot of our efforts in the tournament side of things. Our merchandise line, Namil has talked about it. You are going to see new collections drop over the next few months, and hopefully it ends up being something that you guys dig and want to get your hands on. We'll be running a lot of interesting discounts and
No,
and-
probably
and-
it'd
and
be so
giveaways.
good we might not give a discount.
yeah, for sure.
Either.
And also, we'll be having a lot of contests and giveaways that are based in good activities, interesting, fun activities. So the merchandise might be in there as well.
Yeah.
And also collaborations. That's a big thing for us. We're doing some interesting collaborations. We already have a couple of creators on board, and we have a vision to do amazing collaborations with some creators out there that you guys are going to find to be exciting. And we're confident that we're going to be able to do some interesting things that this market has not seen before. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to wrap it all up in terms of what
Yep.
you guys should expect.
So
Yeah.
in case you all want to stay updated,
Yeah, you guys
So-
drop a like, hit subscribe,
yeah.
turn on the notification bell,
Yeah.
head on to Instagram, hit follow, turn on the notification
Join
bell.
Discord.
Check-
Join our
And
Discord
most
server.
importantly,
This
stay tuned for the next episodes that are to come.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Because
Well,
like Namil mentioned
Yeah.
the stats, the game
Yeah.
world is in the rise. And
absolutely
we all know
only
about
one way,
the magnitude.
only one
and,
way, only one
Yeah.
way, and that's up, baby. That's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world of
And the team
gaming is moving.
over here at LZ, Lobby Zero,
Mhm.
will be keeping track of this growth, right? As much as we can by getting in touch with whoever it is out there. So
Yeah.
Hopefully we can contribute towards
Ground
that as
Zero
well.
podcast will be your window to this conversation.
Exactly. That's one thing. That's one thing that I missed out.
Get to.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you want us to have conversation with? One thing I missed out: the podcast in and of itself is going to be a big property that's going to allow us to have amazing conversations with not just creators out there, not just other people who are trying to make gaming organizations work in this country, but also industry players, industry leaders internationally. And we have a few people in mind. We have a few leaders in mind, industry players in mind that we want to have conversations with. Hopefully, we can pull it off. Like I mentioned last podcast, if we play our cards right, we're going to make it happen. Yep. And we're going to make sure that those are going to be stories and narratives that provide a lot of value to every Indian gamer out there. So,
True.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
listen,
The world of gaming.
whoever's gonna,
Rahul,
I think-
you're not ready for this.
I think Chrislin should make Chris or Vibhav, actually Chris, Vibhav and Nitin should make a note of this. This will end up being a podcast where we're gonna have to clip and highlight quite a bit because the full thing might be a too long format. But then it's great that we have this because this is gonna be such a pivotal moment in the history. Yeah, exactly. In the fact that we had this conversation with everybody on. So it's gonna be a great chapter in the book of Lobby Zero. But I think there's a lot of good
Putting
stuff
the link
that happened
of
here.
this video in every video from now on. If you want to know about Lobby Zero, head on to
Oh
this
yeah,
video.
head on to this video.
That's actually good. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Play it at
So
2x.
yeah, 2x.
The whole world of gaming is moving at such a speed right now, and Lobby Zero doesn't seem to slow down anytime soon. So yeah, if you guys want to be part of any such conversations, enter the Ground Zero of gaming. Like Isaac said, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, click that notification bell, and so that you all know when we post next. So until next time,
Yeah.
peace out.
To the future in the making.
Peace out, everybody. Good
I
talk.
think we should all do this instead of
do
peace
this,
sign.
like,
All of
this
us should do
be a
this.
gang sign now.
Like
Yeah.
Linkin
Check
Park.
it.
All of us should do
Linkin-
this.
That's not.
Link in
That's our
bio.
thing now.
You're flooded. It'll be flooded.